All right, fellas, it's Monday. You know what time it is. It's the matchmaking time. I'm going to give you the matchmaking or the matchups that I've made. Well, there's a fucking weird way to say it. For most fights on the card, the ones that I found not necessarily intriguing because some of the boring ones are on here too, but everyone that I thought was worthy of matchmaking, you know the deal. We're going to give you a time frame on which they should fight. We're going to give you who they should fight. Rankings video may not come out tomorrow just because I'm having serious computer problems. I gotta take this shit to Best Buy. They gotta figure it the fuck out because I think it got sold on some fucking bullshit here. So we're gonna figure that out. So I may be a little delayed in the other videos this week, but you will see predictions by hopefully the latest Thursday. But you'll have predictions before the fights. You'll have a video talking about Ilya Taporia also coming out by the end of this week. It's just a matter of when this thing gets fixed. And then the rankings video will obviously come out. Not too crazy things with the rankings. I'll just give you a quick update. But right now it's matchmaking time. That's what you came here for, and that's what you're going to get. We'll start from the top. I mean, Brandon Moreno, very impressive victory over Amir Albazi. To me, when you look at the rankings, Brandon Moreno's fought a lot of these guys. Like, he's fought Kai Kara-France. Don't necessarily need to see that again. I'd like to see Kai Kara-France versus Brandon Royval. You have Pantoja versus Asakura going on. Listen, I don't want to see Moreno fight for a title immediately, just for beating Albazi. I don't think he should. I think they should do Kai Kara-France versus Brandon Royval. The winner of that fights the winner of Asakura versus Pantoja, which I think will be Pantoja. And that's why if Kai Asakura loses, he's the perfect matchup for Brandon Moreno. Big name, someone who he hasn't fought yet, and this can sell a pay-per-view. You can put this on a card in Japan, main event. Tatsuro Taira is the co-main. Like, you can have a really good card with this. I think Brandon Asakura makes all the sense in the world. I was thinking the Tatsuro Taira matchup. A lot of people were, but listen, I think we're trying to get Tatsuro Taira back in the win column. I don't want to feed him to Royval and then all of a sudden give him back to Moreno the monster. He's got to, defend his spot a little bit. He should be looking at one of those Asu Almabayev fights, something against a grappler, so we can see how things really go. I think Moreno versus Asakura is the best matchup to make if Asakura loses. Now, if Asakura wins, then I think we're looking at Moreno versus like a contender. Like, you can give Asu Almabayev the jump, and I think Moreno would beat him. You can do the Alex Perez fight when he comes back. I know he wants to fight in Mexico City, so you could do Brandon Moreno versus Alex Perez. But I do think Kai Asakura is going to lose to Alessandro Pantoja, and if he does, Brandon Moreno's the matchup to make. We're probably looking at some kind of fight in May. Kai Asakura is fighting at the beginning of December, so maybe even April. I'd love to see that. I just don't know what Kai Asakura's timeline looks like. I'm not really overly familiar with how active he is, especially because he got signed to the UFC a while back. Took him all the way to December to do the title fight, but I do think that's more in the UFC. Moreno versus Kai Asakura is the fight to make sometime in April, May. If you do this in Mexico City or Japan, it's going to be good. Amir Albazi should defend his ranking spot against Steve Erceg. Listen, I know what it is. Steve Erceg got knocked out by Kai Kara-France, but Amir Albazi, let's be real, dude. He lost to Kai Kara-France. He did. He lost. He should have lost on the scorecards. The judges gave him a robbery decision. I'd like to see Steve Erceg versus Amir Albazi, two guys that haven't fought each other yet. I think Erceg's probably going to be looking to come back. I'm sure he'd love to fight on that card in Australia again. I just don't know that he'll have the quick enough turnaround for it. I do think he wanted to take a little bit more time off. But again, that puts us at the 6-month mark, and I don't think Amir Albazi will make that timeline. So if this fight happens, it's going to need to happen towards the April timeframe of next year, probably after Ramadan for Amir Albazi. And if it's not going to be the Steve Erceg fight, then I'm okay with doing the Tatsuro Taira fight here as well. Amir Albazi versus Tatsuro Taira on the Japan card that they end up doing would be awesome as well. But I think that both of these guys are going to sit out for a second. They'll look to come back fighting April and May. Steve Erceg, Amir Albazi, I think it's a really good fight to make. Erin Blanchfield got a win that I thought was a loss. A lot of people disagree with me, but I really do think she lost that 4th round. But hey, the judges gave her the decision. It is what it is. I got to get over it at some point. I think she sucks. I honestly think she doesn't really have much skill. Like, she can grapple. But I don't think she's that good. Listen, she's young. She's going to have to get better, and she probably will improve. But, I don't see that she's that good. But she called out Grasso. She gets Grasso. Grasso lost dominantly to Valentina Shevchenko. She's going to have to defend her ranking spot. These are two top 4 women in their division right now. Match up against each other. They haven't fought yet. I think it makes all the sense in the world. You do this on a fight night. You do this in Mexico City. Like, if they go to Mexico City in February, March again, something like that, I think you can put this on the card. It would make sense. It'll be a main card fight, even though it's going to fucking suck. That's just what we get now. But Rose Namajunas, the next fight, listen, she lost to Erin Blanchfield, even though I think that's incorrect. She's going to have to probably defend her ranking spot again. I think Karine Silva makes all the sense in the world. You're going striker versus striker. Now, a lot of people are thinking Natalia Silva, but I think they're going to save Natalia Silva to fight the loser of the title fight between Manon Fiorot and Valentina Shevchenko. I think it would be a good matchup for Natalia Silva, and I don't think they're in any move to rush Natalia Silva all the way. Like, they don't want to force her to fight too quickly, and I think Natalia Silva can fight higher up than a Rose Namajunas. Now, the Rose Namajunas fight isn't bad, but I think Natalia Silva's deserved even higher rank than number 5 or 6 at this point. I think she's ranked 6th. I think Rose is ranked 5. Might switch that up in the rankings. We'll see. But, yeah, Rose Namajunas, Karine Silva, I think this is the fight to make. Karine Silva is going to deserve a jump up in competition coming off a victory, and I think Rose Namajunas has got a defender spot. So you do this on some fight night card in March, April. I think it makes all the sense in the world. Don't really care about watching Rose Namajunas fight anymore. She's boring. She's not fun to watch. She's just so focused on this fucking outside foot battle and landing a jab here and there. Sucks to watch these people fight, man. We're going to move on to Brennison Hilario, who I also think sucks, has a ton of power, but I don't think he fights intelligently. Rafael Cercaria, the guy that got knocked out by Ibo Aslan, I think this is a good fight to make. Light heavyweight's thin. Trying to find similar schedules for these guys. I think Cercaria, I keep saying Sermonara, versus Hilario makes a sense in the world to me. I don't fucking care when you do this, honestly. March, fight night, prelim, I don't give a fuck. Let's move on to Jasmine Jasudavicius. Dude, like, look at this lineup, dude. Can you tell me you're actually excited for any fight outside of, like, the top 2? I'm not excited for any of the other fights. I'm going to be fully honest with you. It's fucking dog shit. So we're going to get through the rest of this. Jasudavicius got a win over ranked Ariane Lipski. They were both ranked at the time, but it's time for her to keep climbing. I think it's time for the Jessica Andrade test. Haven't seen these two fight yet. Would like to see them fight. I think it makes all the sense in the world. We'll see who comes out on top. Is what it is. Moving on. Dustin Stoltzfus. Impressive knockout. He's going to go to war with someone. And I think Brad Tavares fits the bill. I think this will be a good fight. These two haven't fought yet. We've seen Dustin Stoltzfus get knocked out by Albus, get knocked out by Bruno Ferreira. But then all of a sudden he goes in there and he knocks out Marc-Andre Barriault in the first round. I think a Brad Tavares fight is lined up for him. They're on similar timelines. But one coming off a win, the other coming off a loss. Brad Tavares is obviously higher ranked than Dustin Stoltzfus, but it's now coming off a big knockout win. Stoltzfus can take that jump up. Brad Tavares has got to look down. This makes all the sense in the world to me. And I say we can make a turnaround here. Brad Tavares before he hit this certain age in his career, it was very active. Dustin Stoltzfus, he's remaining pretty active, man. He fought in June. Now he just fought in, it was the first month in November. And this is after a knockout. So it was 5 months after the knockout. He turned around and fought. I'd like to see this in, a February, March timeframe. I think it'd be a good fight. Mike Malott, overrated prospect. Who should he fight next? D-Rod. Another guy that I think is wildly overhyped, but both are coming off wins. Both are in similar spots in the welterweight rankings. Both are coming off competition from within a month of each other. I think it makes sense, and I think this is just like a named fight where you have two guys that have names, not overly talented, but you can match them up against each other. It makes sense. Mike Malott, D-Rod. The winner at least gets to keep their name. The loser, again, they get their name, but it's official. Like, the hype train has been derailed. So Mike Malott, Daniel Rodriguez makes all the sense in the world to me. I'm thinking a March fight night would make sense here. If you go to Canada again, you can put this on a Canada card. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world to me. Let's move on to Aiemann Zahabi. Big win over Pedro Munoz. That's a competitive win, dude. Pedro Munoz just outside the rankings. Aiemann Zahabi gets a win. I think he fights the loser of Marcus McGee versus Jonathan Martinez, which, spoiler alert, I think Jonathan Martinez is going to get it done. I think he's going to be able to kick the legs out of Marcus McGee and stay defensively sound enough to win this fight. I think step and knees are going to be big for him, but this isn't a prediction video. This is a matchmaking video. Whoever loses that fight between McGee and Aiemann Zahabi is not going to be in the rankings, and I think Aiemann Zahabi takes that one more fight. If they get that win, then he gets his ranked opponent. Aiemann Zahabi versus Marcus McGee, that makes all the sense in the world to me. If Aiemann Zahabi's coming off a win against Javid Basharat, a Marcus McGee, and a Pedro Munoz, that deserves a ranked opponent. Bantamweight's just so stacked right now, you can't just let him have a ranked opponent because there are other guys like Farid Basharat that's going to be close to that name. And you have other guys like Vinicius Oliveira who just beat a Ricky Simone. Peyton Talbot's actually selling fights, even though he barely fights now. You have these other names out there, Adrian Yanez, like this. These are the kind of matchups that we're looking for Aiemann Zahabi before he gets a shot in the rankings. And I think it's a winnable fight for both guys. So Marcus McGee, Aiemann Zahabi makes all the sense in the world to me. It'll probably be looking at the next time either they go to Canada or you do this around the April timeframe. Marcus McGee's going to fight in 2 weeks. I feel like he's going to get battered by the leg kicks of Jonathan Martinez, but we'll see when we get there. This makes all the sense in the world to me. Book it. Charles Jourdain, reinvested career here at bantamweight. I'm interested again in Charles Jourdain versus Pedro Munoz. Same time frame, same card. Makes all the sense in the world to me. You got two names. They can duke it out. We'll see who wins. Pedro Munoz, Charles Jourdain. This will be an interesting fight. One that I never thought I'd see, but now I am intrigued to see. Look at this, a fight that I care about. Youssef Zalal. Stealing the show on every card he's been on. They keep putting him on these shitty Apex fight nights, and he keeps flourishing. We're doing Youssef Zalal getting a ranked opponent, and it's Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell coming off a brutal knockout loss to Josh Emmett. Listen, I'd love to give Bryce Mitchell a layup in the rankings here, but I just look at the other guys that are in the rankings, and it's like, yeah, you can give him a Montel Jackson fight. I'm not as interested in that as I am as seeing Youssef Zalal fight a Bryce Mitchell. It makes all the sense in the world to me. It's a chance for Zalal to get in the rankings, or Bryce Mitchell builds some more hype around his name again by beating a Youssef Zalal. So I think this is a great fight to make. Main card of a fight night sometime in March. I'd love if it was quicker. I think Youssef Zalal can turn around for February, so if they can do that, that'd be awesome. It's really going to be up to Youssef Zalal. I think he's in a position where even not being ranked, he's coming off 3 wins, 3 finishes in a row. This is impressive stuff where you can start calling your shots a little bit here. So I'm going Youssef Zalal, Bryce Mitchell. Think it's a great matchup to make. And then we're going to get to the Fat Boys. This was originally booked and it was changed. I say rebook it. Listen, I know Romanov got his takedowns on Rodrigo Nascimento, but Rodrigo Nascimento somehow has a worse gas tank than Derek Lewis, has no power in his hands, and I think Derek Lewis's get-ups are better. Fat dudes just try and lay on Derek Lewis, and he just springs to his feet because jiu-jitsu doesn't matter when you're Derek Lewis for some reason. There's no putting the feet on the hips, posturing and being able to shrimp out. Derek Lewis just stands the fuck up when he wants to stand up. So I'd be interested to see how this goes. I think Derek Lewis will get a knockout. I think Alexander Romanov fucking sucks, but this is a good fight to make. Similar spots in the rankings. Let's make it happen. It's a good meme fight, too. Rodrigo Nascimento sucks also. Got knocked out by Derek Lewis. Got decisioned by Alexander Romanov. Shamil Ghaziev's turn to make the rankings. Listen, Rodrigo Nascimento's ranked 15 right now. He may fall out of the rankings. It's Shamil Ghaziev's time to jump in there. This is the fight to make, guys. Gaziev is a future title challenger. Come on now. Just look at that beautiful face. I mean, he doesn't look like something's off at all. Doesn't look like he's making him at night, right? With Shane Gillis and his uncle. It's Rodrigo Nascimento and Shamil Ghaziev's a good fight to make, guys. I think it's fine. It's fat heavyweights. You'll do it on an Apex card. Dana will make it a main event because he doesn't know what the fans want anymore. But Shamil Gaziev, man, this guy's a problem. It's time to get him in the rankings. Gaziev, Nascimento, let's make it happen. And lastly, Cody Gibson can fight Zahir Sadeh, both coming off wins on the cards, both off in similar spots in the rankings, similar skill level. I think Zahir Sadeh is a little bit better than him, but I thought Zahir Sadeh was a little bit better than Garrett Armfield, and he robbed Garrett Armfield, so I don't know what to think anymore, but these are the picks and predictions, or these are the matchmaking video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and bear with me over the next few days. I gotta get this fucking computer problem fixed, because it's driving me absolutely nuts. And I just realized you didn't get to see the matchup of matchups. That's the one I want to see right there, man. Youssef Zalal, Bryce Mitchell. That's the one I'm most excited about. And if you're excited about it, please like and subscribe.